So why is college a waste of time and money, and what should you do instead? That is the topic for today's video and lesson, and I can already imagine that there are some haters out there just chomping at the bit to try to tear me apart with this. So bring it on. I love it. So here's the deal, you guys. Look, when people say that you have to go to college, or they think that college is an essential, it's just not true. Now, how am I qualified to even have a clue about this? Plane flying over at the perfect time. It's awesome. What makes me even qualified to talk about college and not college, or education, and the state of education and the economy and what it does, okay? Because a lot of people think, well, are you just talking out your ass, or do you actually know what you're talking about? This is why, and you're welcome to refute this or challenge it or research it or whatever. This is why, I'm going to go over this quickly, but this is why I'm actually qualified to talk on this topic. I was actually one of the crazy people who went to college. And not only did I earn one degree, but I earned 4 different college degrees, and I started a 5th college degree. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration. I have another bachelor's degree in health science, specifically health promotion. I have an MBA, specifically in marketing. I also hold a doctoral degree in education. Then I started a 2nd doctoral degree in naturopathic healthcare. And then I formed 4 different educational associations, and I also bought and rebuilt an online university. So I actually know what the hell I'm talking about, okay? So now, are there ways of educating yourself that are critical? Yes, 100%. That's why I'm still in the educational space. Why am I so opposed to traditional learning and traditional academia? Here's one thing. Most of them have their head up their ass. Why? Because they're so indoctrinated into an archaic protocol that they don't understand how the world works. Now think about this. Now, if you're watching this, and if you miss any part of this, go back to the beginning, okay? Think about this. If you have a college degree, isn't it nice not to be stupid? Yeah, it's great that you have those skill sets. I'm glad that I'm a well-rounded person. That's great, and there's nothing wrong with that. No one can take that away from me. Did I have to pay huge fees and spend almost 20 years in a formal education to get that? No. But I thought incorrectly that I had to do that because somehow it would make me more credible, or that someone would take me more seriously. And the fact is, my friends who are far wealthier than me, and you can see this, this is my home in California. You guys have seen my place on the Las Vegas Strip. This is where I live when I'm in California. These people this is a nice neighborhood. These people are not poor. They're not foolish. Most of them are highly educated. It's a nice community. And yet a lot of these people that are here probably went to college, but I'm going to guess most of them do not do a job now that is related to what they went to school for. And now college debt, and I just looked this up, and you can look on the post preceding this, it's in one of the comments. College debt in America only rivals debt for a mortgage for someone's home. Think about that. Only a mortgage debt is higher in America than debt on college loans. And I believe, and I forget the numbers, it's below, so I'm paraphrasing, forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's like 70% of people who graduate with a bachelor's degree have debt from their college. And it's in the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on where they went to school. And a lot of them don't know shit when they graduate, and they didn't actually learn things that are applicable in today's world. And here's what I mean. And by the way, most of that debt, this is why it's a racket, right? It's part of the government wants you just smart enough to turn the dials and push the buttons and be a cog in the machine. That's true. If you go and get good grades, get a job, save for retirement, blah, 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 401k, it's a bunch of bullshit. Most of those people are not living their dream life. They're surviving. Most of them have incredible debt, and most of them are not living their ideal life because they believe that they have to do something to fit into the machine, to the program, to the system that was created by a society that no longer lives in a current reality. Shit's different than it used to be. The world works differently. I'm not saying that learning is bad. I'm a lifelong learner. I study all day long. I study hours every single day. every day, and I have for 30 plus years. I've read hundreds of books since I finished all my formal education, but I didn't have to pay someone a bunch of money to do that. Now you may be asking, well, John, why are you saying this if you own educational companies? Why would you be dissing on formal education? It's the formality of the institution of higher learning. I think education is essential and it's critical. And also, if you look at the educational courses I offer through my schools, they're fast, they're accelerated in every format, they're super affordable, and they teach you a specific skill that is directly applicable to the goal and objective you have for your career and your life. Is the same true for college? No. You study a bunch of crap that doesn't matter most often. Now, be honest. When is the last time you used anything beyond basic math for anything in your life? Now, some of you might be engineers, and in that case, you do need a degree, right? That's different. There's exceptions. Someone was arguing with me the other day, and they said, yeah, but what if you want to be an anesthesiologist? And I said, are you an anesthesiologist? She said, no. How many of your friends are anesthesiologists? Well, none. Do you have any ambitions of being an anesthesiologist? Well, no. Well, who gives a shit if you have to have a university or college degree, actually a medical degree, to be an anesthesiologist? Of course you do. That's not what I'm talking about. Do you want to be an anesthesiologist? Are you an anesthesiologist? No. Do you want to be an airline pilot? Then you need a degree. Do you want to be a mathematician? You need a degree. Almost all, and think about it like this, there are literally hundreds of thousands of different occupations in the world. Hundreds of thousands of different occupations. And a handful of them require a degree. Only a handful. Now, an employer may say degree preferred, but I actually was just having this discussion with someone else, and they said, even though it said degree preferred, this lady had owned her own business for 10 years, and that 10 years experience was more important and preceded the other people's degree, and actually she got the job because she had the experience of operating her own business. Now, I have no idea how successful the business was, but it just shows you what ultimately is more important. So again, if you go back to the beginning, you'll know why I'm actually qualified to talk about this. I'm not talking out my butt. I actually have a great amount of knowledge. I've studied education and learning and cognition and linguistics and personal development and all this stuff, formally and informally. And again, I have 4 different degrees. I started a second doctoral degree. I know what I'm talking about. And you think, well, why are you dissing it? Because it was a waste of time, it was a waste of money, and the world doesn't need it anymore. Most of what you do does not require a college degree. And again, that's why from our schools that I operate, it's a quick, fast, affordable certification that teaches you a specific skill set based on exactly what you want to accomplish. And that's what matters. So, now, here's the thing that is interesting about getting a degree. A lot of times, the parents just want the kids to go off to college to get the hell out of the house. That's the truth. How do I know that? Because I've had many parents tell me that exact story. Are they all lying? No, I don't think so. I think they want their kids out of the house so they can go travel and do what they want to do. They go, well, it's cheaper and it's easier just to send them off to college. Also, it's like adult babysitting sometimes. The college and the sorority and the fraternity and all the different stuff. If you think about it, it's like high school but drinking age. Isn't it? Isn't it like high school but drinking age, and you still do a lot of things that you're like, this has nothing to do with what I'm going to do in my life. And here's what I found. And I can't remember if I said this earlier or not, but I'll repeat it. My friends who are really, really successful, I mean, making many more millions of dollars a year than I am, and people who are truly changing the world, none of them have advanced degrees. Very few have a college degree. Most of them only graduated from high school, and actually the ones who made the most money dropped out of high school. Now, am I suggesting you drop out? No, I'm not suggesting that. But don't you think it's interesting? There's no direct relationship. There's no linear relationship. If you drew a graph that says the more college you have and the more you pay tuition, the more money you'll make. It's not true. Otherwise, people with associates would only make so much, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees, and every person with a PhD would be a millionaire, which is far from the truth. Most people with a professional degree, a PhD, graduate with $100,000 plus $200,000 in debt, depending on where they went. And their lifetime earning cap in many cases might be, $90,000 to $200,000. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, because it's 3 to 5 times more than, maybe 6 times more than the American average household income. But, a lot of entrepreneurs that dropped out of high school are making that in a week or a month. And I'm not exaggerating. That's the truth. And I know some people make that much in a day. No, I'm not exaggerating. It really is true. If you don't believe me, I'm sorry. Don't be a hater. Don't be cynical. I'm being honest with you. You can do the research yourself. Do the math. It's not that much per year to actually make $50,000 a year. It's not unreasonable, or $50,000 a day. That is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. That's a lot. So my phone just rang there. We're back. Okay, so I'm not going to beat this thing to death. Here's what I think you should do. Now, this is what I do. Instead of what I did, which was to go earn 4 degrees, and then I went also to 3 different technical schools, studied radiology, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I did a lot, formally and informally, but I spent a lot of money on my education. I was super careful not to overspend also, and I still spent a lot. The only reason I didn't graduate with any debt is because I paid for it myself as I went along. And so I didn't get a scholarship. I wasn't smart enough to get a scholarship. And I didn't want a student loan. My parents didn't have the money to give me to go to school. They gave me a little bit, but for one of the schools, like $2,000 or $3,000. And I paid for the rest of it out of my pocket. So I didn't have college debt, but I see what happens to people, and they're so burdened with college debt that then they can't do the things they want to do. And here's the thing too. When I see what people are able to do by learning a single skill, which absolutely has nothing to do with what you learn in college, and they learn one skill that triples their income. And it could be something like how to do a Facebook ad. And before you didn't know how to do it and your business was faltering, you learn how to run a Facebook ad effectively, and suddenly your business triples. So maybe you're making $50,000 a year as some sort of consultant. And you make $50,000 a year, but you're like, gosh, if I just knew how to reach these people on Facebook with an ad, I would do much better. You take a one-day workshop, maybe it's $200, and you learn how to run a Facebook ad. Well, now you tripled your business. Now you're making $150,000 a year. Can you do that if you earn a degree and go work for someone else? No, that's not the way it works. But sometimes people just get in this mode, and I think it's a matter of feeling a sense of significance. I went to university, and therefore I am smart, and I can blah, 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 blah. There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. There's also the ability to recite or recall, and also the ability to deduct and reason. So if you can just remember things, that doesn't help you. And if you think about how you got tested at university, wasn't it based a lot on recall? That's a type of metric that they use for testing, is based on recall. There's reasoning and recall, but a lot of it is just recall, basically is memorization. How many phone numbers, now that you have a smartphone, how many phone numbers do you know? 2, 3 numbers? I know mine and my mom's. And I think that's it. Those are the only phone numbers I know. And so do you have to remember a lot of stuff? No, because you have Google, you have a smartphone. You need to be able to gather information from all the information that's available in this wonderful world of ours, right? You need to be able to gather all that information and then synthesize it and synergize it and put it into a system that which better serves people with a program, product, service, technology, or something like that. And guess what? If you don't know how to do some of the technical stuff, you can take an online class. Lynda, L-Y-N-D-A, you can take online technical classes if you want to learn how to code. There's another guy I just heard on Mike Dillard's podcast, and he went and earned a university degree, and it's funny, it's just good timing on this. He earned a university degree in computer science. He goes, why the hell did I learn all this stuff? He literally used almost none of it. He goes, I wish there was just a class I could take to learn how to do blank, because that's how I make almost all my money. And he created his own online school. What the heck is it called? I can't think of what the heck the school is called. They do $2 million a month. $2 million a month, teaching people how to go from no skill to basic programming skills. Do you need a degree to do that? No. Think about this. Have you ever hired a graphic designer for something? Did you care if they have an associate's, a bachelor's, or a master's degree in computer science, fine arts, or anything like that? Does that matter? Or do you want to see their portfolio and say, damn, these people are talented? But what if the person's super, super talented, but they dropped out of high school? But the other person has a master's degree in fine arts and they charge $10 more an hour and their portfolio sucks. Who are you going to hire? You see, it doesn't matter. It's all about production. It's about the ability to serve. It's about the ability to solve someone's problem. So I'm not saying that knowledge is bad. Of course, knowledge is essential. It's critical. But you don't need to be indoctrinated by a university system that is antiquated and doesn't understand. What is it? Brian says, hi, JSE, school teachers, college professors, lawyers, doctors, some in engineer field, those, oops, hang on a second. Yeah, other than those, college is a waste of money. It's true. It's true. Yeah, if you want, there's certain things you have to have a college degree for. Of course, there's exceptions, of course. But if you don't want to do those things, you're friggin' wasting your time and your money. No one cares. I made the mistake of thinking that somehow that gave me credibility. Think about this too. There's a lot of you who are in the fitness industry who watch this, right? A lot of my students, a lot of my friends, and I've had a person who had a PhD in exercise physiology, that's a lot of school. It's 8 years, ton of work. There may be an undergrad in ex-phys or kinesiology, biomechanics, something like that. It's a ton of work, a ton of knowledge. And I had them teach a class because I was teaching programming and stuff like that, how to teach a particular program. And this person had a PhD in exercise physiology, and they were the worst instructor out of all of them. All of them. Now, is that always the case for someone with a master's or a bachelor? I'm not even that. A PhD in exercise physiology. No, there are some good ones. But it just shows you there's no correlation between talent and being able to memorize something. What college does is it teaches you to stick through something. That's like the only thing that I would admire most about that is that it teaches you to stick with something until you're done, and it teaches you mental endurance because you got to go through a bunch of crap. But does that make you a better person? Sometimes. Does it make you broke? Most often. But it also delays the onset of your success. The reason why a lot of people who don't go to college or quit college, think about the people who quit college like Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, and there's obviously some other famous people like that. If they didn't quit and apply their knowledge, they wouldn't be providing the awesome things that we enjoy already, right? What, you're dating yourself, and me as well, but the time college was assumed the next step in one's education. Yes, Frank. But today knowledge is available in many forms. 100% correct. 100%. So here's the thing. If you want to go to college because it makes you feel good, great. If you're going to college because you're the first person in your family to do it and you're trying to make your family happy, why the hell are you trying to live their dream? Shouldn't you do what makes you happy and which will enhance your life? Ultimately, you need knowledge and wisdom and application so you can live a good life and make a bunch of money. So you can, look, people go to college so they can have a better job, right? So let's just say you have a bachelor's degree. So that took 4 years and probably cost anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000, depending, sometimes $150,000. Crazy, insane, stupid. And then you go, you know what? I want to make more money because I'll get an advancement at my career if I have a master's degree. So you'll make $20,000 more a year after 2.5 years in a master's degree, which costs $80,000 with 5% interest. Paid, of course, off in 15 years. And so all that interest is accruing, and now you're 2 years delayed to make $20,000 more a year. I literally could teach you how to tweak your career and position yourself as an authority instantly to where you make more money now. Now, a lot of people say, it's not about the money. It's not. Of course it's about the money. Of course it is. Do you want to be stupid? No, no one wants to be stupid. Do you want to make more money? Yes, everyone wants to make more money. If you say you don't, you're a liar. Everyone wants to make more money. Like if I gave you $1,000 right now, you're going to say, nope, I don't want any money. That's not what I'm about. I'm for the knowledge. All right, well, it didn't. You know what? That would actually be foolish not to take it, so you're lacking knowledge. You can always re-gift the $1,000. My point is that everyone wants more money, okay? You do. Don't say you don't, you do. Like if you want to, have you ever not gotten something at a dinner at a restaurant because it costs too much? Or you're looking at the wine menu, you're like, $15 a glass, I'll take this $7 Chardonnay. Wouldn't it be nice not to make those choices, to downgrade your options? Of course, that's why everyone wants more money. But But paying for university and delaying the onset of your success is not a good choice anymore, unless you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, an engineer, an airline pilot, or something like that. Those require formal education because there's certain specific high-level skills you have to know. Of course, there's exceptions, okay? So hang on, what did someone say here? Daniel said, I don't have a degree, and I have taught guys that have PhDs and masters. I have too. It's funny. I've hired a lot of people with a lot of formal education, but you know what? Because they're good at certain things, but I can't pay them a lot always because they don't always have all the necessary skills. In some cases, they do. I actually have a lady who works with me who's brilliant in escalating within the company. But there's no direct correlation. There's no direct linear relationship with the amount of formal education you have and your success. There's no direct. Now, what happens is when a college is trying to indoctrinate you so you can be indebted to them and the government, they will say, well, a person with a bachelor's degree can have annual earnings of $15,000 more a year than someone with a high school education. That is probably so, but only if you are a cog in the mechanism that our society has created, saying, go to school, get good grades, work your way up the corporate ladder, get a 401k, save for retirement, and live within your means. Does that sound like fun? Why do you have to live within your means? Why don't you expand your means so you can experience more of life? Doesn't that make more sense? Why would you want to hold back and not live your life to the fullest? Because I have to stay within my means. Why don't you expand your means, expand your life, expand your experiences to do more, live more, give more, travel more, share more, and experience more of the world? But you only can do that if you're not indoctrinated into the confines of traditional academia. And there's one last thing I want to share with you here. Think about this. Think about how fast the world works. If someone learned marketing 10 years ago, would they have any idea how the world works now? If someone earned a bachelor's degree in marketing 10 years ago, would that have any application in today's world? Very little, very little. I worked for a company one time as a consultant, and the guy, it was an older guy, and he goes, I'm classically trained, I have an MBA in marketing, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, holy shit, that is a kiss of death, and the company failed. Because they literally did things so antiquatedly that it didn't work, it didn't function. If you earn a degree and you're reading college books, remember, I bought and operated a private university for several years. Some of you guys don't know that, but it's true. So I'm aware of how all this crap works, and that's why I'm just so opposed to it all now, because it's so ridiculous. Quick certifications, online courses, mastermind coaching, podcast, audiobooks, self-taught, travel. That's the way you learn, and that's the way that you make the most out of things. So, formal education is good if you need a particular credential. Like someone I know just came on here is a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I'm not sure which one. Of course you need a college degree for that. That makes perfect sense. But 99.9999% of the people don't want to do that. So, think about this. If you are learning something at a university and you're reading a textbook in that university, so you sign up and let's just say your classes are going to start in the spring, and you have a book, and maybe that book is from last year. They didn't get a new textbook. Well, it had to go through probably 3 editorial revisions, typesetting, typography. It's got the cover. You have to first get your manuscript approved. You have to go through the publishing process. The person has to write it through this. It's a lengthy process. Textbooks are usually between 300 and 800 pages long. By the time you get the information that you need in that textbook, it's at least 3 or 4 years old. And then let's just say that's your first year at university. And then you apply it 3 years after that, so your information you learned is already 6 years old by the time you apply it. How does that help you based on how fast the world moves now? You know what I do? Now when I know how, let me rephrase this. When I know I need to do something quickly, I listen to a podcast and I say, what is the most current data, what is the most relevant research. I'll even look at Google trend reports. I'll look at real-time analytics. I will hire an expert, with or without a degree, don't care, as long as they're an expert and they can fly in. I pay them their day rate and I say, teach me what's happening right now to solve this problem. That's how you accelerate your success. It's not reading a book that's 3 years old and then applying it 3 years later after you get in debt to the government and then learn things that you don't use anymore. It's just the way it works. Let me see, I'm going to wrap up right here. So, no sir, information is constantly changing, usually for the better. Most degrees become obsolete by the time you graduate or the time you're hired. Brian, you're 100% correct. You guys think about this. And Glenn, I saw you here too. Most of you guys are not even using or don't want to use your degree now. You are probably doing something completely unrelated to your degree. How many of you have a degree? Just show me hearts or thumbs up. How many of you have a degree and absolutely are not using that specific knowledge in your current career? Tell me. Thumbs up. Show me some love. That's crazy, right? That is just insane to me to do that. So again, I'm not talking backwards here. I'm not telling you, hopefully, something is foreign to you. I actually do know what I'm talking about. I did earn 4 degrees, 2 bachelors, an MBA, and a doctorate. Started a second doctoral degree. Bought, rebuilt, and operated a private university for a couple years as well. I already own 4 different educational associations, but the difference is those are certification agencies which allow you to turn over quickly for between $100 and $500, not between $100,000 and $500,000, and you can finish things within 7 to 21 days and then move and use it. And guess what? That material is updated every 6 months, and you can apply it immediately after you earn your certificate. Boom, and you apply it, and you're good, right? Most jobs to tell you, forget what you learned in school. We do things our way. That's funny, Brian. And that's true. Very, very true. So if you have a formal education, good. It's great not to be stupid. But that doesn't mean that you have wisdom. It doesn't mean that it has applicable knowledge. And you don't need to recall. You don't need to memorize. You need to apply what Google can recall and solve people's problems. And the bigger problem you can solve for more and more people, the more money you'll make and the more fulfillment you have in your life, because you can add more value to more people and you'll be financially rewarded. That's the way this stuff works. I didn't make it up. I'm the messenger. All right? I have 2 ways that I can serve you. If you're interested, penthousegroup.net, just like it sounds, penthousegroup.net. That's where I coach people. It's a monthly program plus 3 days in Las Vegas, 3 different days. Super, super affordable. And every single day you get new knowledge. And it literally costs like 1/1000th of what a degree costs. And one person I worked with last year increased their income in 4 months 90%. 4 months, 90%. Another guy's been with me 5 years, and he went from about $150,000 a year to now about $2 million a year. It's real. And then the other thing is onlineexpertempire.com, onlineexpertempire.com, just like it sounds. Those are the 2 things that I have for you where I can serve you and you can do things quickly and have application based on your passion, your hobby, your interests. And it absolutely does not require a college degree. That is an antiquated process. The world is changing. It's just that people in academia and the government, surprise, they kind of work together, are super slow to respond, and it's killing our growth. It just does. If you want a problem solved, give it to an entrepreneur. If you want it pondered for a long time and having delayed in the onset of success and results, give it to academia and or the government or some combination of that. It'd be a friggin' mess. That's the way it works, right? Look at Elon Musk. Look what he's done with the space program when our government couldn't do it. It's just the way it works. It's just a mess. So, there's a million examples like that. So anyway, that's it, you guys. If I can help you, I'm happy to help you. Thank you, and if you're a hater, I love you. I love my haters. Thank you for watching anyway. Even if you don't agree with me, I appreciate it. I welcome all perspectives. And if you disagree with me, give me statistical information that refutes anything that I've said. Okay, but do your homework, because I'm going to call your ass out on it if your statistical information is not accurate. All right, that's it. Penthousegroup.net, penthousegroup.net, and onlineexpertempire.com, onlineexpertempire.com. That's it. You guys, peace out. Enjoy your day. I'll see you later.